Maybe this trip,
You share the
next
piece. You gonna kill each other?
No, they can.
You don't share it?
And he says, no more than 8 hours.
8 airplanes.
No, by car.
8 hours by car.
I'm not kidding. 29. He does have an eBay business. He has an eBay business. He actually is an IT person. He also has an IT job, but his real job, his love eBay job. That's where he makes his money. What is it selling? His specialty is collectible toys. No kidding. Oh my God.
Are you guys hearing an echo? Are you hearing a weird echo?
Yes, there is an echo.
I don't know why.
We're hearing you.
It just but he works all the time. I mean, he gets up in the morning, he does IT jobs from home. Yeah. Go, pose, come back. Exactly. I said I was bringing you a ring.
Is that better?
Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. So we set a goal for tonight to do services in 1 hour. This is an extremely unrealistic goal. So with that said, we're going to really get started. We are delighted that you're here tonight. It's wonderful to see so many people in the sanctuary, and we hope you'll enjoy being in this sacred space and that we can enjoy being together. We are particularly excited that William and Daniel become bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. And whatever you're doing to your cufflink, it's probably going to have to wait for a second because I'm going to invite you and Mom up, page 120, to light the Shabbat candles. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy, please. Oh, hear my prayer to you. As these
Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'adlik ner sher Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, sorry, I always do that. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us sing Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us sing Amen.
We turn now to page 127. If you have a book that has numbers in brackets, follow those numbers. If there are no brackets, just ignore them. And we pray responsibly. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of our creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and better will follow.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. 146, and we rise for L'chadu. We don't rise yet. At the third, last verse, we'll rise for L'chadu. Sit. 138, sorry, 138. turn to page 146. Now that we've greeted the Shabbat bride and we've greeted Aaron and Elise who walked in. You walked in at the perfect time, like with Shabbat. Page 146, the Baruch. Baruch et Adonai Elohim, Baruch Adonai, we remain standing as we continue on page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, together from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. You recognize the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai.
Yeah. So you.
Please be seated as we continue together with the V'ahavta in Hebrew and remind ourselves of the ways that we take these instructions to heart and put them in the forefront of our minds. Together. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavcha v'kol nafshecha v'kol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Mitzavcha Hayom Al Levavecha Vishinantan Levanecha V'Dibarta Bam V'Shivtecha V'Veitecha V'Vlechtecha V'Derech V'Shachlecha V'Kumecha V'Shartam Le'ot Al Yadecha V'Hayu Letotafot V'Einecha V'Tavtam Al Mezuzot V'Techa V'Sharecha Lama'an Tizkaru V'Asitem Et Kol Mitzvotai Yitem Pirushim Le'Elohecha Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim V'Hiot Lachem Le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. On page 157, standing on the party shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Come up, page 158. Boy. New strings. This won't count toward our time. Oh, no.
Someone put the stop on the time.
Exactly. Have you all tuned? I believe you. I can't hear it. Return to page 160. And of course, I'm thrilled that everyone is here. I really am. And thrilled that our friends are on Zoom. But I particularly want to welcome Susan Rudman and Vanessa Newman, who just got back from Israel. And we're probably still jet lagged. And can't wait to hear all about your trip. And I feel like you're bringing extra spirituality into the sanctuary tonight. All that good Jerusalem energy. So welcome back. We prayed together on page 161, the second prayer. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'yakol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Vishamru, page 162, as we continue to feel the joy of Shabbat. Vishamru, b'nei Yisrael, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. B'nai Yisrael et HaShabbat Ta'asot et HaShabbat Le'dorotam B'ri Olam. We turn to page 166 and we rise for the Appelbaum. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El HaGadol, HaGibor, HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'kolei Hakol, V'zocher V'seavot V'imahot, U'me'yiv לנו Lehem, L'ma'al Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Zrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Elamranai, Mechayei Hakol Atah Moshiach, Mechayei Chaim V'Chesed, Mechayei Hakol B'Rachamim, Zolei Nodim V'Olei Olim, U'matir Asurim, U'mekayem Emunato, Mishenei Abar, Michamot Ba'agilo, U'midomela, Melech Menid, U'mechayem, U'masmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal hachayot ha'or. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei Hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh v'kedoshim, v'chol yom yehallelukah selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. We continue on page 170. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace.
May all who hurt find healing on this day.
May all who despair find purpose.
May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day.
And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayers, our love, our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha v'yirah na. We take a moment to pray, offer a prayer of thanksgiving. And I invite you, especially in this month of November, with our Thanksgiving holiday, to just close your eyes for a moment and think about all the things that you are thankful for. Maybe you can quickly picture them, the people, the places, the things. Together with the Chatima in Hebrew, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hato Shimcha Ulachana'eh Lehodo. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. We pray for peace. Page 178. Deep. Shalom Ra'ah, Yisrael, Tasih Le'olam. Shalom Ra'ah, Yisrael, Tasih Le'olam. Ki atah berekatol, Le'or HaShalom. Shalom Ra'ah, Yisrael, Nassim Le'olam. Shalom Ra'ah, Yisrael, Nassim Le'olam. Nassim Le'olam. Nassim Le'olam. We take these next few moments for silent prayer to listen to the inner longings of our hearts and our souls, and to just sit in companionable silence. Sarene, Be'ayin Yabo Ezri Me'maduna, Ose Shamayim V'aretz, Ayitei L'amor Ravecha. Ayenu Shomrecha, Hine lo yanum, V'lo yishan Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Ayad Yeminecha. Yomam HaShemesh lo yagecha, Kareach b'layla, Adonai yishmocha mikol ra, Yishmor et nafshecha, Adonai yishmor tzeika u'vodecha. So this week's parsha is Vayetze, and it made me think of a question. When does God appear to Jacob? When the very beginning of our parsha, God appears to Jacob at night in a dream, probably at a moment when Jacob was feeling despair and anxiety about his journey, about where he was going. Was he headed in the right direction? He was running away from having stolen the birthright from Esau. He was out there in the wilderness alone. It's very scary. But God appears in a dream in the middle of the night. I love this story, so I actually want to read you some verses from the Torah and then take you where I want to take you. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. He came upon a certain place and stopped there for the night, where the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he put it under his head and he lay down in that place. He had a dream. A stairway, a ladder was set on the ground, and its top reached to the sky, to the Shemayim, to the heavens. And the angels of God were going up and down on this ladder. And Adonai was standing beside Jacob, and God said, I am Adonai, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. I always love that. He doesn't say the God of Jacob because he's talking to Jacob. I think that's pretty cool. The ground on which you are lying, I will assign to you and your offspring. Your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread out to the west and the east and the north and the south. All the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you and your descendants. Remember, I am with you. I will protect you wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land, and I will not leave you until I have done what I promised you. Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely Adonai is present in this place, and I did not know it. Shaken. He had just had an encounter with God. This was an awesome moment in his life. He was shaken. How awesome is this place? It is none other than the abode of God. And this is the gateway to heaven. Early in the morning, Jacob took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up on a pillar and poured oil on top of it. He named that site Bethel, house of God. But previously, the name of the city had been Luz. Shortly after that, he goes to find his wife. He finds Rachel, and then the whole story ensues where he works for 7 years for Rachel, and then he marries Leah instead by trickery. Then he has to work for another 7 years to marry Rachel. Then he works for another 7 years for flocks and sheep. So I do imagine that finding Rachel felt like Beshert, felt like God's plan. But 20 years later, he must have had despair. It couldn't have been his original plan, and that's a long time. Aviva Zornberg calls this his dark night of the soul. A time when Jacob must have felt like God was absent from his life. He had just had this amazing experience. He'd been reassured God would be there, and then pretty nasty things happened. His father-in-law is a deceitful, creepy guy who sneaks in the wrong wife, and then doesn't even he marries Rachel just a week or so later, but he has to wait he's supposed to work 7 more years. When it's time to leave, there's a whole thing with the flocks getting divided up, and he has to work another 7 years. Life couldn't have been so good. And that's why Aviva Zornberg uses this term, dark night of the soul. Well, growing up Jewish and even going to rabbinical school, I had never heard the term dark night of the soul. It's actually more of a Catholic term to describe a period of time when a person feels in darkness, when they feel like they're walking without a light, without God's light guiding them, without companionship, without a sense of comfort in the world. They feel a sense of being alone. I first learned of this term when I was studying to be a spiritual director about 15 years ago. And I was very taken with it. Not necessarily in a personal sense, but in a more general sense of people feeling this sense of absence and aloneness. But I found it particularly interesting here to see Jacob in this moment. He was in a dark time. He'd been deceived by Laban. He was also in a dark time because he had to wrestle with his own demons. He hadn't been very nice to his brother Esau. He had tricked him in stolen the birthright with the bowl of soup. And then he tricked him again and stole the blessing from their father. And he was running away. He was pretty much scared for his life. It was a dark time. When you hear about a dark night of the soul, though, it's not a permanent state of being. The goal is that it's, if you have one, that it's something you journey through, that you get through and get to the other side and reconnect in some way to God, to divine energy, to the universe, that you're able to find light in your life. Sometimes it could be very similar to depression, to that feeling of totally being abandoned by the world. But this concept reminds us that there is hope, that there is an ability to see to the other side. At the end of the Parsha, Jacob will again see angels. They will appear to him after this 20 years. He'll get a sign. Now, we might not be so lucky to get a sign from God that looks like an angel, or maybe we will. Maybe we have to be more like Jacob and be able to open our eyes to see what's around us. There's so many angels in our lives. They look like ordinary people, as we learned from Rabbi Gelman. But we don't always recognize them as angels. That's one of our tasks on earth, to look for them. So what did Jacob do? He woke up and said, God was in this place, but I did not know it. This was an awesome moment. This is the place of God. So I challenge you to open up your eyes, to look for the angels in your life, to look for the moments when God might be there, and to allow yourself to see them. To not be in the dark as Jacob was, but to keep our eyes open all the time. And Hiratzon. We now turn to page 586 as we rise for a La titularia separation, jealous and razon, without some Ishmael, jealous and continue carriera, we go running to the Pohamona, but after calling, no me shamani, no I 198 for the Mourner's Cottage. This Shabbat, we think of Marvin Marcus, Father Stephen Marcus, for whom we're in a period of Aninut, who will be buried on Monday. We're in the period of Shiva for George Schnapp, father of Daniel Schnapp, and David, and Darren, and Randy, and husband of Anita. For Joseph Gossel, father of Peter Gossel. And we are in the month of mourning Shloshim for Marvin Schiff, husband of Joan and father of Eric. For Amy Swirsky, mother of Corey and Ava, and Velma Vega, friend of Jan Feynman. We also recall with great love those whose yurtsites fall at this season. Gerald Bastien, Min Blumenthal, Miriam Brisdell, Muriel Brown, Bernard Cohen, Jonas Deutsch, Charles Fogelman, Sam Friedfeld, Norman Friedman, Enid Geller, Jessica Barry Goldstein, Elsie Greenstein, Rudy Katz, Roberta Kerman, Sarah Gelly Leinhardt, Leah Mallon, Jeffrey Manoff, Brian Michnikowski, Maurice Murray Oliver, Albert Pinto, Andrew Rabinoff, Bernard Rashbaum, Judy Rose, Fred Rosner, Ray Radofsky, Daniel Sennett, Sanford Susserman, Lawrence Tapp, Bunny Willen, Jack Yeager, and June Young. Zikronam Libracha. Is there anyone else you are saying Kaddish for this evening? I'm going to open up the chat. Michael Parker. We join together. Yid Gadal, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabba, Yamad, Yibrak, Yirte, Yamliach, Mahute, B'chayechon, Yomechon, B'chayei, T'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav, Yisman, Kariv, Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba, Mevorach, Le'olam, Omei, Omaya. Yibarak, Yishabak, Yitzhar, Yitramah, Yinaseh. Yitadar, Yitalem, Yitalal, Shmei Kusha, Birchu, Leila Mikol, Birchata, Vishirata, Shushbachata, Venetnamata, Damiran, Yamad, Nimru, Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, Nimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, Nimru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. We remain standing as we turn to page 122, 123, and we invite Daniel and William back with their dad to Israel to grab one of the Kiddush cups. We'll get the other one for you. For the Kiddush. You guys come on up. We'll take care of the Kiddush cups. Up. Well. We have a time limit here. Get up. Go to the pantry. Right there. That's down the brush. I think we have to add more time to that. No, we're good. I like your key pots. It's very cool. Islanders next. That's right, but what's just New York sports teams? You guys have applause for Syracuse.
In the earth were finished. On the seventh day, finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher keshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon kibhilanu v'karo lema'aseh bereshit. Ki huyom tehila v'nikra'e kodesh zecher yad Mitzrayim ki banu b'tata v'otanu kidashta v'kol ha'avim v'shabbat kodesh v'ahava u'ratzon in Patranu, Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh Hashem.
Have a sip. Please be seated.
Let's stay.
You guys stay up here and Dr. Goldstein has some words from the conference.
We're in time limit, jury gifts. So it is my privilege and honor to represent the Board of Trustees and give you your gifts tonight. The first gift that you just used, the Kiddush cup, it's from the Brotherhood and Sisterhood. Hopefully you use that at many mitzvahs in the future. Use it proudly. One day when you're old enough, it can be filled with anything of your liking. And then we have a few lovely gifts from the temple. We have a beautiful certificate of bar mitzvah, one for each of you, for Daniel and for William. This is beautiful and proudly displayed. That represents the hard work getting to this day. You know this, you saw your brother go through it, you've had to go through it. It's a lot of work. We're proud of you. Thank you for doing this. We also have Knicks tickets. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. It's a year membership to the Suffolk JCs. That's also good. You can use that one. We have a gift certificate towards a nifty trip to Israel. You can ask both Susan and Vanessa in the back about how great Israel is. You can take advantage of that at some point. And we're really excited for you guys tomorrow. Daniel, Mazel Tov, and William. Congratulations.
We take a moment now as we pray for healing. We turn to page 371. We pray for Mark Shulman, for Elliot Levitch, for Diane Strager, for Juan Carlos, for Johnny Cavaliera. There's so many other people on our Mishaveh list, for Mickey Plass, for Jack Legros, Phyllis Belford. Who else are you praying for today? Judy.
Joni Spielberg, Bill Ebert.
Ben Hirsch. Kathleen Clausen. Lisa.
Carol Hadar.
Ellie Meredith and Bobby Ebert.
Bill.
Scott Keller.
Aaron. So we offer prayers for all those we've named, for everybody who put them in the chat, and for all those on our Mishaveh list, and all those who you are holding in your hearts. There's those in need of healing with refuah, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Amen va'amen, refuah shlema, a complete and speedy healing. We have a few celebrations today on our anniversary list in this general time frame. I see Ivy and Ed for Susie. I think they're on Zoom, so happy anniversary. And it is their, I can't do the math, 18th anniversary, maybe? 18th, I did that. And Anissa and Brian, happy almost anniversary. You guys can stand up, 11 years. Wonderful. And I see some birthdays. Oh, stay standing. We wish Hunter Rudman a happy birthday from a few days ago. Daniel and William, happy birthday. You guys can stand up too. Betty Gelman's birthday is the 15th. And Ari Moskowitz is the 17th. And Sophie Lieberman, I know your dad's on it. If you're sitting near him, we say happy birthday. And Diane Lieberman, happy almost birthday. So you can stand up too. Since I don't know if you'll be back in the sanctuary for a birthday blessing. And are there any other November Simchas, birthday, anniversary, other happy news you want to share? So let's have a wonderful check-in, or lousy, whatever kind of check-in you want to do. So let's have a check-in. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'ehyanu, v'hiyamanu, v'hiyamanu, l'zman hazeh. Ad Mea ve'esrim, should you have at least 120 warriors. Amen. Please be seated. And it is my pleasure to invite Ryan Goldstein, our esteemed president, to join us and share some upcoming events. Even though you have many of you got a handy dandy little program guide today, but there might still be some out there.
So now, Rabbi. Nobody else in my spitting zone. Take that off. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, Brian.
And Mazel Tov to the anniversaries and the birthdays. Thank you, Rabbi, for those for that lovely sermon. I'm thinking we're having like a dark 20 months of the soul. But the hope is that we'll get through it. We have to do like Jacob. And thank you, Cantor, for a beautiful song, and Vincent for always joining us and helping out with your beautiful music. So there's a lot going on, but I have about 30 seconds. So here we go. I also want to, by the way, thank all of our veterans that have served, with yesterday being Veterans Day. Some are here with us. So thank all your veterans for their kind service to our country. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat Torah study. Sunday at 9:30 a.m., a bar mitzvah seminar, and 11 a.m. dealing with stress. Monday night, we have budget and finance, a schmooze group, the Chai Adult Ed Zoom, and this one, circle. If you're not attending any of those other things, you want to be here for Beauty and the Beast auditions for the ensemble. You want to be part of that show some way, somehow, whether you're in it, helping out, or watching it. It's going to be awesome. Tuesday, November 16th, Jewish Tangents at 10 a.m., youth group at 6:30, and Tanakh class at 8. Wednesday, November 17th, membership meeting, youth group, engagement committee meeting, and adult B'nai Mitzvah class. I think there's still time to join that, no?
Yeah.
about 6 letters in, there's another 18 letters or so. You can catch up, you could do it. Thursday, November 18th, Shop and Schmooze. This is put on by the Sisterhood and Nursery School. Register in our emails you can find or on the website. And the proceeds go to the nursery school. Speaking of that, by the way, we still have, as Rhoda Creekman has brought to us the last few weeks, shopping at Saks is still going on. It goes through Sunday, and a portion, 10%, goes towards the Temple Nursery School. So please go shop there. And I remind everybody, my colors are green and blue generally. I'm like a 40 regular, large on top, bottom is more medium, but then you can talk to my wife about more specifics. Friday, November 18th, Torah Yoga at 10:15 a.m. and services again at 6:30. Sunday, the 21st, we have a food drive for Island Harvest at the ShopRite at Country Point. And at night, we have a Huntington Interfaith Thanksgiving service by Zoom. Friday, December 3rd, our Hanukkah service. You have to register for that. You can come to service, but all the other stuff, the food, etc., you need to register for. Beauty and the Beast, TBT presenting Beauty and the Beast is February 11th and 12th. Tickets are on sale now. Remember the Village, and that's our combined effort with Temple Torah and Dix Hills Jewish Center. A lot of events, a lot of good people. And remember, our sharing table always needs donations and volunteers to help out. That's it. Shabbat Shalom. And anybody that's staying for dinner, can't wait to see you.
And dinner's in the multimedia room, and there will be a little room in the lobby. Thank you. And I'm closing on page 625. Adon Olam, Hashem Allahu, B'Terem Hor, Yitzir Yirah, Ve'ed Nason, Behef Sohor, Azaymen, Shemon Yirah, Ve'acharei, Hiknot HaKol, Levado, Yilok Noah, Hu Hayah, Ve'hu Hover, Ve'hu Yeh, Ve'hu Yeh, Ve'tifaro. Hashem Elah B'Terem Hor, Yitzir Yirah, Yitnasah Please rise. Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers. Please continue to bless us with your light. Help us to see you in the world. Help us to fight for what we believe in. And help us to find freedom. Let us say. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.